What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again for another season preview and game by game predictions. This time, it is the Missouri Tigers and the Ole Miss Rebels. And we're going to start out by talking about these Missouri Tigers under the tutelage of Eli Drinkwitz, who won the SEC Coach of the Year last season. I didn't think he should have won it. I think the great one, Nick Saban, should have won that award once again. But hey, that's neither here nor there. All right. So, but let's get into talking about these Missouri Tigers in their schedule. Missouri Tigers coming off one of the best seasons they done had in a long time, an 11-2 record. Oh man, they done had so many years of being mediocre. Finally, they broke through. But hey, as I'll continue to tell you, I think Missouri, the season they had last season was a one-off. I don't think they can repeat that in 2024. That's just me. All right. They lost. They bringing back the quarterback Brady Cook and the wide receiver Luther Burden, two best players on that side of the ball. They bringing back damn near everybody on the defensive side of the ball. They replacing a couple of players. But what did they lose? Who did they lose? They lost Cody Schrader, offensive side of the ball, their workhorse. Cody Schrader ran for a little over 1,600 yards last season and 14 touchdowns. They lost their left guard and their left tackle. And Cody Schrader couldn't have did what he did without that offensive line. So with those two guys that's being replaced on the left side of the line be as good as the two guys that they lost, we'll see about that. Okay, but they did bring in a formidable running back from Georgia State. All right, they brought in Marcus Carroll, ran for over 1,300 yards last season and 13 touchdowns. They also brought in Nate Noel from Appalachian State, who ran for 834 yards and 5 touchdowns. But I think Marcus Carroll, he can tote the load. But again, it all hinges on that offensive line. All right. Brady Cook, quarterback, he can't do what he do without offensive line. Running backs can't do what they do without the offensive line. Wide receivers can't do what they do without the offensive line. So replacing the right people, replacing these guys that left with the right people on the offensive line, that's going to be key to the success of the offense. But like I said, I don't think that they will be able to repeat what they did last season. Also, Luther Burden, like I say, he'll come back. Then you got Theo Wise coming back at the wide receiver position. Luther Burden had over 1,200 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns last season. Theo Wise had 6 touchdowns last season. So they bringing back 2 of their starting receivers. All right. So, but I think Missouri, they'll have a successful season, but I don't think it will be like it was last season or as successful as it was last season. Just my opinion now. That's just my opinion. So, hey, it is what it is. Now, let's go ahead and get into the schedule and talk about this schedule for these Missouri Tigers. All right. August 29th, they got Murray State coming to Columbia. And that is a win for Missouri. That don't need to be talked about. September the 7th, they got the Buffalo Bulls coming to Missouri. Don't need to be talked about. That's a win for Missouri. September 14th, you got Boston College coming to Columbia. Boston College, Missouri will beat Boston College. Boston College went 7-6 last season. They was 3-5 in the ACC last season. Boston College, Missouri is just a better team. That's me. That's just me. And I think Missouri will beat Boston College without any problem. None whatsoever. All right, September 21st, Vanderbilt Commodores coming to Columbia. Don't need to be talked about. Everybody in the SEC beats up on Vanderbilt. Everybody. They'll be the SEC program every now and then. And I don't think the Missouri Tigers will be one of them in 2024. That's just me. All right, so, and then September 28th, Missouri goes into a bye week. So they will go into the bye week 4-0, undefeated. Now coming out of the bye week, October the 5th, they got the Texas A&M Aggies. You know how I feel about Texas A&M and their new head coach or first-year head coach, Mike Elko. Well, not first-year head coach, but he's the first-year head coach at Texas A&M. Their new head coach, Mike Elko, who changed the Duke Blue Devils football program totally around. Improved it so much. He's only been a head coach for 2 years, but in those 2 years as a head coach, he had success with the Duke Blue Devils. Okay, but now he's with the Texas A&M Aggies, and I think Mike Elko is about to turn that program around. Also, Texas A&M bringing back quarterback Connor Wigman. Texas A&M, they're going to be young at the running back in the running back room, so we're going to have to see how that works out. But that front seven, the front seven. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I won't stop talking about it. And I won't stop believing in it. All right. I think that front seven is going to pick up where they left off last season. That front seven for Texas A&M led college football in sacks last season. I remember they having 17 and a half sacks in 2 games. That was crazy. But anyway, I won't stop believing in it. But that secondary is going to have to get a lot better. That's all I know. All right. The offensive line, they're going to have to get better too from last season, because at times quarterbacks was running for their life. I know I told you Connor Wigman is coming back, but Connor Wigman didn't play the whole season last season due to injury. I believe he played in 5, got hurt in the 5th game. And then insert Max Johnson, and he didn't do a damn thing. I believe he wound up getting hurt too, and they had to go to their 3rd-string quarterback or whatever. But I believe in Texas A&M. I believe in Mike Elko, and I think Texas A&M will beat Missouri in College Station. All right, Missouri will lose to Texas A&M. I always talk about how hard it is to play in College Station and Jordan Hare. All right. Matter of fact, I think those are the 2 most intimidating places to play in the SEC. My opinion. Jordan Hare and College Station. You know how loud College Station get. Probably the loudest stadium in the SEC. So yeah, I got Texas A&M beating Missouri in College Station. And then October the 12th, UMass. I don't know why Missouri going up there, but hey, they got UMass. They're going to beat UMass without an issue. So, yeah, Missouri will beat UMass. All right, October the 19th, Auburn Tigers going to Columbia. Auburn Tigers and old Hugh Freeze, man. I continue to tell you, the quarterback position for these Auburn Tigers, they need a passing quarterback. Now, he can run all day. He can run all day. Peyton Thorne. The offensive scheme for Auburn is good. It's a great offensive scheme. They need somebody who can throw the damn ball. That's all I'm saying. And then they got this freshman that came in the 2024 class. He's supposed to be great. I forget his name, but he's supposed to be great. He looked damn good in they little spring game. I think Auburn defense, Auburn, they're going to have a decent defense. Their defense is never just bad. But, far as Auburn, man, they win games that they should win. And I think Auburn is going to beat Missouri. I do. There's nothing that Missouri has to make me think Auburn can't beat them. Remember, Auburn Them guys play teams tough, especially in Jordan Hare. All right. You see how they played Alabama last season. You see how they played Ole Miss last season. You see how they played Georgia last season. But the thing different about this, it won't be in Jordan Hare. It'll be in Columbia, Missouri. But still, I believe Auburn will be good enough to beat Missouri. And Missouri got a lot to do it the way I think. Because I told you, I think last season for Missouri was a one-off. So yes, I got Auburn going into Columbia, beating Missouri. All right, October 26th, they got to come to Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tuscaloosa. And really, this don't need to be talked about because Tuscaloosa, because my Alabama Crimson Tide going to tear off in their ass. No doubt about it. That defense for Missouri, it ain't going to be able to hold it ain't going to be able to hold Jalen Miro and Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. Ain't no way in hell. Kendrick Law, nope. Jeremy Bernard, nope. And that offense, our defense gonna tear off in that offense ass. I don't give a damn about a Brady Cook and a damn Luther Burton. I don't care. I don't care about the fact that our secondary replacing some guys. I don't care. We replaced those guys with great guys via the transfer portal. Yeah, we'll have probably have a young freshman corner on one side, but that's all right. Go at him. Go at him. And he will show you that it just means more when you wear the crimson and white. That's all I can tell you. All right. Oh, I forgot about talking about Texas A&M, how they lost Walter Nolan and Evan Stewart. All right. Walter Nolan, the best player on the defensive side of the ball for Texas A&M, and Evan Stewart, the best player on the offensive side of the ball for Texas A&M from that wide receiver position. This was last season. All right. Those guys are no longer there. Both of them transferred. But guess what? I don't care. Texas A&M will still beat Missouri. Now back to my Alabama Crimson Tide and how they going to beat the hell out of daggone Missouri in damn Bryant-Denny. This game won't even be close. Will not be close. We already know Caleb DeBoer going to open up that damn offense. It's going to be wide the hell open. And we're going to have receivers running all across the field wide open all damn day. Jam Miller and Justice Haynes going to have a damn field day as well as my quarterback, Jalen Miro. And I got Missouri losing big to my Alabama Crimson Tide. So yes, yep, I do. And then after that, my Alabama Crimson Tide whoop their ass. They goes into another bye week, November the 2nd. Then November the 9th, they got Oklahoma Sooners coming to Missouri. Boy, this is a rough stretch for y'all, Missouri Tigers. But yeah, they got Oklahoma coming to Columbia. And yes, I got Oklahoma beating Missouri. Missouri will lose to Oklahoma. Guaranteed. But anyway, Oklahoma Sooners, man, they replaced a lot of guys on that offensive line, man. They replaced a left guard, the center, the right guard, and the tight end. So they replacing, they want to have a revamped offensive line, man. Anyway, they bringing back two of their wide receivers, Nick Anderson and Andrell Anthony. They'll be back, all right? But I think Nick Anderson, he's the most experienced out of those guys. Nick Anderson, 798 yards, 10 touchdowns. Anthony Andrell, only 430 yards and a touchdown. They also bringing back running back Gavin Sawchuk. Ran for almost 750 yards last season and 9 touchdowns. Those guys will be better this season. But they are breaking in a new quarterback in Gavin Sawchuk. All right. Dylan Gabriel. Oh, man. Dylan Gabriel. He left, transferred. So, hey, that was a bad loss for Oklahoma. All right. But, hey, it is what it is, man. Dylan Gabriel, he was hell last season. That guy was great. But now he's going to Oregon and do bigger and better things over there. Now, as far as the the defense for Oklahoma, they bringing back damn near everybody. Almost everybody except one defensive tackle. So, the Oklahoma defense will be the same as it was last season, if not better. All right. They got a defensive-minded head coach in Brent Venables. So, yes, I think this defense is going to be pretty good. And, yes, I think Oklahoma is going to beat freaking Missouri. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. All right, after Oklahoma beat their ass, they got South Carolina Gamecocks coming into Columbus, Missouri, November 26th. And, yes, Missouri, you will beat they got to go to Columbia, South Carolina. I'm sorry. So Missouri will be on the road for this game against South Carolina. And I think Missouri will beat South Carolina on the road. I continue to tell you, freaking Shane Beamer, he's fighting for his head coaching life this season with the South Carolina Gamecocks. This just may be his last season. South Carolina is not good. They breaking in a new quarterback. We'll see how that works out. Because I think this guy was a freshman last season, so he's been named the starter. Him and his glasses, or his safety goggles, they done been named the starter. So, hey, Mississippi State, man, no. I mean, South Carolina, they not a good team at all. I don't believe in them at all. Jesus. I mean, Spencer Rattler came over there, gave him a couple of great wins, but that's it. But Spencer Rattler is gone now. Is this guy better than Spencer Rattler? We'll wait and see. But South Carolina, you will not beat Missouri. All right, Missouri beating South Carolina. All right, November 23rd, Mississippi State Bulldogs. Missouri got to travel to Mississippi State, and Missouri will beat Mississippi State. Jeff Levy, I believe he's in his first season. You ain't going to have a damn thing for nobody, Jeff Levy. You and the Mississippi State Bulldogs, I don't give a damn what you got out the transfer portal. I don't give a damn what you got coming back. You won't be a good team in 2024. Y'all going to have to take baby steps. I'm going to tell you that right now. Mississippi State got to take baby steps. They going to be down, in my opinion, for the next 2 to 3, 4 fucking years. That's just me. All right. Your greatest days was when Dan, what's his name? God damn it, Dan Mullen was there. Them was your greatest days, and he been gone, and he took your program, your football program with him. I can tell you that. The heyday of it anyway. But anyway, Missouri will beat Mississippi State. All right. Then November 30th, rivalry week. Arkansas Razorbacks goes to Columbia and going to get their ass beat. Missouri will beat Arkansas Razorbacks and Sam Pittman. Don't need to talk about that either. You lost your quarterback in KJ Jefferson. You lost your running back. Two of your two best players. I ain't going to even talk about that defense. So, hey, it's all good. Missouri will beat Arkansas, and Missouri will end their season at 8-4. All right, they will have losses to Texas A&M, Auburn, Alabama, and Oklahoma. All right, and those losses are going to come quick. 3 of them back to back. And between the loss to Texas A&M and Auburn, you will beat UMass. So yeah, Missouri, I got you going 8-4. All right. Now, let's talk about these Ole Miss Rebels. Lane Kiffin, who coming off a great season. Also, Lane Kiffin, I believe he went 11-2 last season, only losing to Georgia and my Alabama Crimson Tide, the 2 best teams in the SEC. All right. For last season, at least, anyway. But yeah, the 2 best teams in the SEC. Only losses they had. All right, they beat everybody else. I think Lane Kiffin will probably have a better season this season just going by their schedule. So, Lane Kiffin, bringing back Jackson Dart, picked up 2 great running backs in the via the transfer portal. All right. Got a great wide receiver core with Antoine Juice Wells he brought in from South Carolina. And Trey Harris. He addressed the needs, man. He addressed the needs. Got Walter Nolan from Texas A&M. Texas A&M best defensive player. Got him. I mean, this is going to be a pretty good Ole Miss team. Some saying Ole Miss can win the SEC. Hey, with this schedule, it's pretty easy. Ole Miss will be a playoff team, according to me and according to a lot of other people. I'm not saying they'll be playing for an SEC championship, even though it's quite possible with the amount of talent that they have. It's possible. If Lane Kiffin don't hold them back, these guys can be playing for their first SEC championship. I really believe that. All right. And for South Carolina, man, and not South Carolina, for Ole Miss, I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the SEC this season. All right. I got them as the 3rd best right now behind Alabama, Georgia, and, Ole Miss in no particular order. I got them as the 3rd best team in the SEC. All right. That's just me. Pete Golden. I know Pete Golden is their defensive coordinator. And they gave up a lot of yards last season. In some games, a lot of points. But the key is to win the game. And Ole Miss did a lot of that last season. My opinion. Well, that's fact, though. But anyway, let's get on and talk about the Ole Miss schedule. August 31st, they got Furman coming up to Oxford. That's a win. September 7th, Middle Tennessee coming to Oxford. That's a win. September 14th, Wake Forest. They got to go to Wake Forest, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Ole Miss is going to beat Wake Forest. Wake Forest is not a good team. They wasn't last season, and I don't think they're going to be this season. All right. I think Wake Forest last season went 3-9, and they ain't going to take no drastic step this season. All right. Not drastic enough to beat Ole Miss. I can tell you that. Ole Miss got the better talent, the better coaching staff, better overall program. So, yes, Ole Miss will beat Wake Forest. September 21st, you got Georgia Southern coming to Oxford. They'll beat Georgia Southern. Don't need to be talked about. September 28th, Kentucky Wildcats coming to Oxford. Kentucky, you getting your ass whooped. Ole Miss going to beat Kentucky. That's all I know. All right. Mark Stoops, I don't believe in you. Not at all. Kentucky, I don't believe in you. I know you got you a transfer quarterback from those Georgia Bulldogs, but that guy couldn't touch the field when he was at Georgia. So, hey, it is what it is. I think he was a 4 or 5 star coming out of high school. So he might wind up to do great things for those Kentucky Wildcats, but not great enough to beat those Ole Miss Rebels. All right, Ray Davis, he's gone, Kentucky. That was your main ingredient on the offensive side of the ball. You ain't got him no more. So, no, Kentucky, you won't beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss will beat Kentucky in Oxford September 28th. October the 5th, South Carolina Gamecocks. Ole Miss got to go to Columbia, South Carolina, and they going to go down there and tell them South Carolina, well, they going to tar and feather those South Carolina Gamecocks. Chickens, that's what I call them. But anyway, because they don't have any fight in them. A Gamecock is a fighting chicken or fighting whatever. He's game to fight. Not these South Carolina chickens. They ain't game to do a damn thing but get their ass whooped. And Ole Miss going to go down to Columbia, South Carolina and tear in that ass. They going to tear in that ass. Shane Beamer, like I'm telling you, you fighting for your South Carolina head coaching life. All right. And you just don't have the personnel to beat Ole Miss. That's just what it is. I don't expect South Carolina to win no more than 4 or 5 games. I don't. And Ole Miss will not be one of those games. So, yeah, Ole Miss will beat South Carolina. All right, October the 12th, Ole Miss goes into Death Valley, Baton Rouge, to take on the LSU Tigers. And I'm going to tell you right now, if LSU's defense is anywhere close to what it was last season, it's going to be a disaster. The only one going to be dying in Death Valley is those LSU Tigers. And guess what? Ole Miss is going to beat you to the death. I can tell you that right now. All right, you don't, once again, Ole Miss, you don't have, once again, LSU, you don't have the personnel this season to beat LSU. You do not. You do not. I don't care how many points you put up on LSU last season. I don't care. Just like last season, you had a high scoring game. I think this game going to be high scoring, but on Ole Miss's part. On Ole Miss part, I can tell you that right now. But anyway, this is crazy. Last season, let me see. Oh, here we go. But yeah, y'all didn't even. Oh, I thought y'all played LSU last season. You did, but where you played them in 20. I thought LSU played Ole Miss last season. So maybe I got it mixed up. Let me see when the last time they played. LSU and Ole Miss. Okay. They played in 2022, and LSU put up 45 points on them. Well, guess what? That was 2022, and this is 2024. Okay, y'all lost last season. Y'all did play last season. Ole Miss put up 55 points on you. You put up 49 points on you. So 2022, you put up 45 points on Ole Miss. 2023, 45 in a win in 2022. 49 in a loss last season. All right, so you putting up points on LSU's defense. But I guarantee you, the key factor is to those wins, those games are 45 points in a win and a 49 point in a loss. You had Jaden Daniels, possibly the best quarterback in all of college football. You had him. You ain't got him no more. You had freaking Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. You ain't got them no more. And I guarantee you, on the 2024 team, you ain't got nobody close to those 3 guys. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, damn Ole Miss gonna come in and whoop y'all ass in Baton Rouge in 2024. No doubt about it. So yeah, Ole Miss will beat LSU. Keep hope alive, LSU fans. All right, October the 9th. Ole Miss got a bye. They going into a bye week off a big win against LSU. But coming out of the bye week, October 26th, they got Oklahoma coming to Oxford, Mississippi. And with Oklahoma, I don't think they have the offensive personnel to beat Ole Miss. I got Ole Miss beating Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma returning a lot on the defensive side of the ball, but I think this offense for Ole Miss is going to be wide open. They got a great wide receiver core, and he to replace his running backs. He got 2 running backs out the portal, and he to replace, and both of those running backs is over 1,000-yard rushers. Both of them. So Ole Miss did his thing, man. Quishon Judkins left. So he went out, Quishon Justice, who would been a 1,000-yard back both his years at Ole Miss. So when he left, Lane Kiffin went out and got two guys that rushed over 1,000 yards last season. So hey, and that offensive line, I believe in that offensive line. I think that offensive line gonna be able to push some people around. But yeah, Ole Miss is gonna beat Oklahoma simply because I don't think Oklahoma is gonna have the personnel to stop this offense defensively. That's just me. And Oklahoma, they don't have Dylan Gabriel. So hey, and the wide receivers ain't as good as Ole Miss's wide receivers. That's just my opinion. But yeah, Ole Miss will beat Oklahoma November the 2nd. Ole Miss goes on the road to Fayetteville, Arkansas to take on them Arkansas Razorbacks, and Ole Miss will win that game. Yes, they will. No doubt about it. I ain't gonna even get into that because you know how I feel about Arkansas. All right, November 9th. Ole Miss takes on the Georgia Bulldogs at home. Okay, Georgia Bulldogs will travel to Oxford, Mississippi. I picked Ole Miss to beat Georgia last season in Athens. Lo and behold. And they went down there into Athens and got their ass whooped. But hey, it beats that way sometime. Now those Georgia Bulldogs, they coming into Oxford with old Napoleon Dynamite. Beavis Beck. Carson Beck. That's his name, Carson Beck. But you can call him Napoleon Dynamite. You can call him Beavis Beck. From Beavis, off Beavis and Butthead. Because he looked just like it. He looked just like Napoleon Dynamite and Beavis Butthead. All intertwined together. But anyway, he the quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs. They coming into Oxford with old Trevor Etienne and Rara Thomas and Dominique Lovett and Malachi Starks on the defensive side of the ball. But one thing about Georgia, they lost a lot in their secondary. Even though they replaced some guys, they got old Jake Pope, a guy who couldn't eat at safety position, through the transfer portal from my Alabama Crimson Tide, a guy who couldn't see the field when he was dressed in crimson and white. But hey, he went to the Georgia Bulldogs. Hey, he over there now. He ain't wearing crimson and white. You know the rest. All right, Georgia, they should have a good offensive line. This season, they lost some pieces off the line. They lost some pieces off the defense. So, hey, Georgia will still be a good team. Georgia will still be one of the best teams in college football in 2024. Under the tutelage of Kirby Smart. Like I told you, Kirby Smart going to make his damn money this season. We going to see if Kirby Smart is the type of coach that everybody been saying he is. All right? He gonna make his money this season. I can tell you that. But anyway, through all in all, man, with the personnel that Ole Miss got, the personnel that the Georgia Bulldogs got, the coaching staffs, you know what I'm saying? Ole Miss will suffer their first loss against the Georgia Bulldogs, Oxford, Mississippi. Do I think this is an automatic win for Georgia? No, I don't. I do think that Ole Miss can win this game. But I have to see it to believe it. I think they can win the game with the personnel they got. Quarterback. These 2,000-yard rushers at running back. I think the offensive line is pretty good. I know they wide receiver core can get it done. This game gonna hinge on Ole Miss's defense under the tutelage of damn Pete Golden. That's what I think. I think even though Georgia added Trevor Etienne, I think Ole Miss got the better offense. I do. And as far as the defense, for Ole Miss, that's what the game's gonna hinge on. So, but all in all, I got Georgia beat Ole Miss, and Ole Miss will suffer their first loss. All right, November 9th against the Georgia Bulldogs. November 16th, they go into a bye. No, coming out the bye, November 23rd, they go to Gainesville to the Swamp, play those Florida Gators. Ole Miss is going to beat the hell out of Florida. Plain and simple. I wouldn't care if it was in Oxford. I don't care if it was in bumfuck Egypt. Ole Miss gonna tell Florida Gators, yeah, they gonna tear their ass up. I was gonna say they were gonna beat the hell out of Florida Gators and Billy Napier, but by this time Billy Napier most likely won't be the head coach. So hey, but yeah, Ole Miss will beat the Florida Gators in Gainesville. November 29th, the Egg Bowl, rivalry week, Mississippi State Bulldogs. They're saying gonna be a contest. You know, Ole Miss is gonna win the Egg Bowl by a large margin. Gonna tell Jeff Lebby and these Mississippi State Bulldogs out the frame. Gonna mollywop them. So hey, that is what it is. That's the 2024 schedule for these Ole Miss Rebels, and they will go 11-1. Only loss against the Georgia Bulldogs. And it's possible that Ole Miss, in my opinion, can go 12-0 in the SEC and play for their first ever SEC championship. That's just me. So I got Missouri going 8-4, and Ole Miss going 11-1. So tell me what you think in the comment section. If you agree, if you don't agree, I'll respond in a way. So remember, y'all be blessed. And I don't give a damn about, I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, and roll damn Tide.